Great, thanks. And with that, we'll hand it over to Reverend Williams from Kingdom Faith Developers. Oh, Reverend Williams, you're on mute in case you're speaking.
And we can't see you.
I was absolutely speaking.
We can't see you either, Reverend Williams. There we go.
Well, good morning again. Let me welcome everybody to what promises to be both an informative and supportive event as we discuss how to start your journey towards development and how, you know, the Faith-Based Development Initiative team can help you to achieve your development goals all along the way. We have been at this now for some time, and we feel like we have perfected, you know, the supportive part of this to the extent that you will be greatly benefited from it. So let me just go ahead right now and introduce our team, which is Celeste Morris, which is our consultant, and Kendall Williams, who is our team support associate. And we can move on from there.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, my name is Celeste Morris. I am the president of Morris Allsop Public Affairs, and I work very closely with this initiative to support and guide and bring insight about community affairs and also elected officials affairs, and just generally wherever I can be of assistance and help with clarity. I'll pass it on back to you, Betty.
Great, thanks, Celeste. Thanks, Reverend Williams. I'll briefly introduce our team at Enterprise Community Partners. My name is Betty Fong. Betty, I'm a program officer here in the New York office, and I manage the day-to-day with our faith-based development initiative. Tori.
Good morning, everybody. Victoria, also known as Tori Barreca. I'm the Director of Capital Solutions and Partnerships at Enterprise, and just delighted to be here, building off of a career of working with nonprofits and faith-based organizations. We provide a lot of resources, which we are, you know, clearly delighted to be able to leverage our expertise and resources in this type of initiative. So we're happy to talk to you more about those resources today. I'll pass it on to our teammate, Mark.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Natanwan. I am also a member of the Capital Solutions team here at Enterprise Community Partners, and just equally delighted to be here. I help Tori and Betty with managing the Faith-Based Development Initiative. And with that, I think I'll pass it on to D&B.
Hi.
Right, so go ahead, Emily.
Okay, great. Hi, it's Emily Allison. I'm with DuVernay and Brooks, along with my colleague Shagan. We are delighted to be sort of a new member of the Faith-Based Development Initiative team. We D&B are a developer and a consulting firm based in New York City, and we specialize in affordable housing, finance, and development. And so we're really looking forward to being part of the team and helping individual faith-based organizations think a little bit about what their
we can't download videos from
what a potential vision might be, and hopefully ideally get to a closing or new construction project. And to talk a little bit more about that, I'm going to pass it over to Shagan.
Good morning. My name is Shagan Obasanjo, Olusegun Obasanjo, Shagan for short. It's a pleasure to be here and be part of this team. As my colleague Emily mentioned, we are on the team to provide affordable housing finance and development consulting. And as part of this presentation today, we wanted to sort of give you a broad overview of the journey that you would be on if you, as you embark on, you know, figuring out what you want to do with your property, and hopefully get to a point where you actually end up with a built project. So this slide we put together sort of is suggestive of what that journey might look like. The part of that journey that we are focused on as part of this enterprise is the beginning. It's you start off by, you have an asset, but you want to do something with it. You may not be clear on exactly what you want to do with it, and so there is a preliminary sort of an analysis, a preliminary process you will go through to kind of get your vision a little bit more set, which would involve working with a lot of professionals that will help you with figuring out what you can do with the site, and that converges with, that relates to what you want to do with the site. What you want to do with the site may end up not being possible. You may have to, come up with something that's a bit more feasible based on things like the zoning, based on financing, based on how big the site is, and other factors. So that's part of what we would be helping out with, to helping you figure out as part of this exercise. But beyond that, once you have a good concept of what you want to do with the site and what you can actually do with the site, there are other, that's really just the beginning of the journey. There are other aspects of it that then you have to encounter along the way, and further procedures you have to embark on. And so this slide helps to just lay that out in a visual way, that it tells you that, once you've got that vision set and your concept, you then have to secure a developer partner that will help you actually execute the vision. And after that, you have to then do the design and get all the financing in place, get all the authorizations you need to actually get to a point where you can start construction, and ultimately you would then, over time, end construction. This whole process is a multi-year process. It's a very complicated and complex process that involves a very large team, including, architects, engineers, legal, and a whole host of other specialties. So this is just to give you a broad overview of what that journey might look like. And our team, the enterprise and faith, the faith-based organization development team is here to basically help you in the initial step of that process.
Great. Thanks so much for that summary, Shagun, and for calling out how there really is a distinction between, if folks look at the bottom of this process, early pre-development, understanding the asset, the vision and concept, and later on in pre-development and construction. So thanks again for summarizing. Celeste, Reverend Williams, anything else you wanted to add or chime in on here?
I wanted to emphasize to everyone that it is a journey. You're going to get questions answered that you never even thought of asking. You're going to be able to have the expertise at your practically at your fingertips that you need. As Reverend Williams always says, in the faith-based community, we know a lot about how to preach or how to spread the word, but in divinity school, there wasn't any lessons on construction. And so I think that this initiative is a partnership. It's someone to go along with you on this journey so that at the end, you don't have tales of woe. And at the end, you have really been a great contribution to the community and to mitigating the housing crisis. So with the team that you'll be working with, both with the D&B team and Enterprise and Kingdom Faith. Reverend Williams is always here because he's experienced some of the tales of woe, so he can definitely be supportive to all of the faith-based groups involved.
Yeah, very well said, Celeste. And next up then, let me talk a bit about this early pre-development part of the journey and how the Faith-Based Development Initiative, FBDI for short, works with faith-based organizations in this early pre-development phase. So when a faith-based organization has that interest in getting involved in FBDI, understanding what they can do with their property, has an interest in community development, affordable housing development, the first step that we'll have them go through is filling out an application to the Faith-Based Development Initiative. We'll go over some more details about that application that's due by the end of this month later. After applying, you'll meet with our team, Kingdom Faith Developers, Enterprise, DuVernay and Brooks, or D&B for short. We'll also visit your site, your house of worship, the property that you're looking to develop in person, meet with you, discuss what your development vision is. And really the next steps after that is to understand your asset and the development vision that you're crafting for your space and your church's future. Some of these early pre-development property reports that we may order for you include a title search, understanding ownership of the property, an environmental assessment, see if there's any environmental work that needs to be done on the property, an appraisal to understand what the property is worth at a moment in time, a zoning analysis and site design for what's possible on the site, on these lots, what could be built here. And finally, financing, putting together the different affordable housing programs, subsidies, the development budget to really make this project happen. After understanding the property, ordering these reports, refining your development vision with you, we then prepare faith leaders to issue a request for proposals, an RFP. And this is a legal document that, this is a document that will be used for the faith organization to select the developer partner that they want to work with to realize their vision. And in order to guide faith organizations through this journey, these reports, this RFP, we work with Kingdom Faith Developers, D&B, and we also bring in other housing professionals, experts, a legal consultant along the way. Along the way, you'll also be sure to learn about the affordable housing development process. To what Celeste said before, you'll learn things and get answers to questions, have questions that you didn't even know, didn't even imagine at the very beginning of the process. And we're also very excited to be able to connect faith organizations to other churches who have gone through FBDI, who can definitely speak to how much they have learned over this multi-year process. Great. Next up, we'll talk a bit about the resources that we provide in the Faith-Based Development Initiative. And I'll remind folks that you can feel free to plug any questions, comments into chat as we go. So Mark, I'll hand it over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Betty. And so Shagun and Celeste gave a great overview of the general process of development, what it looks like from having an idea to constructing something in the end. Betty gave a more focused overview of what it looks like participating in the Faith-Based Development Initiative. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the specific types of support that we offer you. So this starts with technical assistance. As Betty said, there's a lot of information collecting that goes into the process of early pre-development. You have to order reports that inform you on everything from what is possible from a design perspective, according to zoning regulations and legal regulations, what is possible from a financing perspective, what budget constraints you might face as you're developing plans for your property, and so on and so forth. Basically, it's a lot of design, crafting, and a lot of vision refinement over time. And so what we do is we order these reports and studies for you. We connect you to the experts that produce them for you at no cost. And we also meet with you regularly every step of the way throughout the process. We're going to debrief with you on every single report and study that we receive, talk over the findings, and evaluate options accordingly. Central to the process of faith-based development initiative is making sure that every step of the way, it's always you in the driver's seat, right? So we're providing you with information, we're providing you with guidance and suggestions, but of course, at the end of the day, you still have your own ability to make decisions, craft your own plan, and decide what's best for your faith-based organization. And so providing these reports, these studies, this guidance is very much core to what we do. And with that, I'll pass it on to Betty to talk a little bit about trainings and tools.
Great, thanks, Mark. So in addition to that one-on-one technical assistance meetings with the faith-based organization and our team that you see here today, another resource that we provide in FBDI are trainings and tools along the way for your faith-based organization and others who are involved in this initiative to understand the affordable housing development process, what are important details to know when thinking about site design, appraisal, financing, what are different affordable housing programs and subsidies within New York State and New York City. What are some regulations and rules to keep in mind as you're going through this process? So we will have a training curriculum for new faith-based organizations who join on to better understand this very complicated process. Part of the trainings will be live trainings where faith leaders will meet with our development team, our development consultant, Enterprise Kingdom Faith team. We will also go over case studies of development projects and faith-based development projects and lessons learned, important details from those. And we'll also create tools along the way. For example, how things to know as you're putting together your request for proposals for a developer partner. What are those important details for a faith organization to know as they're putting together the development budget? How to organize key tasks along the way. Yeah, great. And with that, I'll pass it over to Tori to talk about some of our other FBDI resources.
Sure, thanks, Betty. Yeah, just talking about the access to experts, working and grants. We understand that this can be a very daunting process. Each particular property and site can have their own specific opportunities as well as challenges. We feel it's important, not only do you hear from Enterprise and the folks that we've partnered with on this call, but other experts in this space that are particularly adept in affordable housing and affordable real estate development and have a long track record in doing that business in the city, and Enterprise has worked with in the past. So what we do is, as needed along the way, we do connect you with specific professionals who can provide different points of view and feedback in terms of your development vision, perhaps a particular hurdle that you're navigating, and or key considerations that you need to kind of mull over further before making any major decisions. In addition to access to experts in the space, Enterprise as a organization, we are based here in New York. We are also a national organization, and we have peer networks both at the national and local levels through this faith initiative that we've designed to create a safe space for faith leaders to come together, learn on certain topics, share lessons learned with one another, connect and build their networks, learn from Enterprise in terms of particular policy efforts that are happening both locally and nationally, and or, as Betty was mentioning, some best practices and or case studies around.
Maryland oversees HPPs.
And finally, the grants is a key component of this initiative that we're particularly pleased to offer. Enterprise is able to provide grants to participating faith-based organizations who are committed to this initiative, and those grants would be available to organizations once they've gone through the early pre-development envisioning process and they are committed to an affordable housing or community development outcome. These grants would be available to support the faith-based organization once they find a partner, and they still need some additional resources and additional assistance during that pre-development period. So examples of what the grants could cover are things like a development consultant that the faith-based organization can rely on and turn to with questions that may come up during the pre-development phase. A lawyer, again, it's important that a faith organization has retained a lawyer that is solely representing that faith organization through this entire process, and or other site-specific considerations. Maybe there's additional design studies that are needed at that stage that will help move the project along. But this is exclusively for the faith-based organization. And what we heard from faith partners as we launched this program is once they find a partner, the work isn't done. They still need access to folks that they can trust and that they can turn to help them navigate the process during pre-development to continue to move things forward. And Enterprise responded to that, and we heard folks, and we've gone out and raised some grant capital to help bridge that period from once you find a partner and you have an affordable housing vision to that core pre-development activity, that core pre-development period, to help you move along to a construction closing. So with that, I will move on to the next slide, if you don't mind, Betty, and just talk a bit about the team again. So just to recap a bit, Enterprise and Kingdom Faith are here to provide a whole range of information along this journey. In doing so, we do that through trainings, through resources, tools, case studies, access to various experts. And we're really here for the long haul to work with you as you create your vision and as you're working within your community to discern what is best for your organization and within that community. And we're pleased that we've been able to partner with Devorny and Brooks on this, and bringing Devorny and Brooks on early in this journey as you sign up for this support. Devorny and Brooks will be there along the way to meet with you, to answer questions, to explore the financing possibilities, to really draw on their expertise, not only as a consultant, but as a developer, and to help you understand what can be a very, as I said, a very daunting process, and really kind of boil things down in a way that is easy to understand and easy to kind of think about what's next and what core decisions and questions need to be raised. So I will pass it on to Mark, and we can then move into questions.
All right. I don't have much to add there, but I'll pass it on to Shagun if he wants to say anything about D&B and their role in the Faith-Based Development Initiative.
Yes, I think Tori basically covered it very, very well as I can. And we have experience in the affordable housing finance and development arena, and so we are here to lend that expertise to the visioning process. So we anticipate that as you get analysis and advice on the zoning, the conditions of the site, as you you lay out your vision for what you want to do with the site in an iterative process back and forth, we will then help to see how that can be financed, and we anticipate that it won't be a one-off thing, but we will be bouncing ideas off each other, and we will be relying on our experience and knowledge about the affordable housing financing resources that are available in the city and the state to help you form a realizable vision of what you want to do with the property.
Great, thanks so much, Shagun and Emily, for that quick summary of D&B's work. We had a quick question in chat about the difference between Enterprise and Kingdom Faith developers. And let me just summarize what I had answered in chat. Enterprise and Kingdom Faith both started New York's faith-based development initiative together and really work hand in hand on those resources that we had mentioned before. So the technical assistance, the trainings, the tools, access to different experts. I would say that enterprise perhaps is more focused on coordinating this technical assistance with the consultants and with the reports, whereas Kingdom Faith in all of those aspects make sure that our initiative is effective and also responsive to what our faith leaders want and need. Great. And with that, let's spend a few minutes talking about the application process. So go ahead, Mark.
All right, thank you, Betty. So first of all, please do reach out and apply soon. Applications are due by June 30th. We're looking to get all applications in by that time at the end of this month. And so the instructions to apply will be sent to you following this event via email. So everybody who attends should receive that. It is fairly simple though. Basically, all you have to do is fill out a short form, which we'll show you in a minute, and just express your interest in joining. From there, we read over the form, we learn about your general situation, and we set up an initial call to talk about things and see if you might be suitable for the faith-based development initiative. In addition to that, I just want to emphasize everybody should reach out in some kind of way. You know, you're here, you're interested, presumably you want to do something with your property. And we work with all kinds of different development situations, whether you have large parcels of land that you think are really suitable for large affordable housing developments, or small parcels of land where you see possibility, but you're not sure exactly what exists there. We work with different types of housing as well, from supportive housing to affordable housing. Basically, if you have any questions or doubts or interest whatsoever, you know, reach out with the phone numbers below. Send an email to us, Reverend Williams, Celeste Morris, or Betty Fong. And once again, just apply and we can talk over your situation and see if there's anything that can be done there. And Betty, would you like to, maybe show what the form looks like over here?
Yep, and can everybody, is this large enough? Do I need to make it bigger for anybody? Great,
I think that looks good.
Okay, and let me just walk everyone through the assessment form very quickly. So when we say submit the application by June 30th, this is the 2-page form to fill out. And it asks you for basic information about your organization, the address of your house of worship, the development properties address, your contact information, the faith leadership, the board, then some information about the development project, how far you guys have come so far, what you're interested in. We ask if you have already ordered some of these reports or analyses along the way. Then we have some short answer questions to understand how your property is already being used to support your faith-based organization's mission in the community, what you hope to gain from FBDI, what are your housing and community development goals, what is your development vision overall. So these are short answer questions. You could fill them in up to 2 paragraphs, but this is definitely meant as a form just to get some basic details and understand where your faith-based organization is at. And we'll be very happy to speak more with you, discuss these details in a call after you send this in. And the way to send it in is to fill it out and then email it to me. And we will send out the assessment form again after this meeting. Feel free to put your email in chat to make sure that we send it to you. Okay, and with that, that concludes the speaking portion of our meeting today. We're going to stop the recording here and move to questions and answers.